little bit about what I often talk about, which is Bitcoin, and going over a ridiculous, once again, ridiculous news story, which is that I guess probably because of the HBO thing about Satoshi being revealed but not revealed. Um, Adam Back was an early, who's a cryptographer and was a relatively early member of the Bitcoin process. His name is even in the white paper. If you've not read it, you should. Um, Adam Back, who some people have suspected of being Satoshi, and he says he isn't. Some people will say, well, he didn't definitively say he's not. No, he's pretty definitively said he's not. Right? He might be leading some people on for fun to maybe have doubts about what he said, but it's not him. In any case, some financial news story came out in the last couple of hours saying Adam Back, ally of Satoshi Nakamoto, says that Bitcoin must do this, for him, for his needs or whatever. And what it was just him tweeting some message saying that it should go to 58K. Why? Right? Is he some price prognosticator? No. Does he have um, special access to information about the leading information that actually moves the markets? No, probably not. I mean, could he afford to pay for early information, leading info about order flow? Yeah, if he was like an active trader. But as far as I know, the guy is busy being a cryptographer and not sitting around just trading all day. But hey, what do I know? Maybe he's doing that. But the fact is, if you actually look at the VEPS information, right, there's targets a few $100 away south of 58K. There's targets above it. There's all kinds of targets right below 60K. You could say, Bitcoin has to go to the bottom of the central monthly range, which is at like 59.5 ish area. It doesn't have to. There's probabilities that it will, and so far today it's been making a trending move now because it's a trending day. They're making a trending move on the 15-minute heading south. Of course, I'm not at my screen now, so I can't tell you if it's just bumped up or if that trending move has stopped and it's going sideways or back up. But we definitely see, right, that was happening. And overall, looking a little bit dumpy, for now. If it can get back above certain levels in the live stream that we just did, then you can see, that it could certainly make a run for the upside more significantly if it were to possibly close maybe this week above, at around 63K or even above it. But it's got a lot of work to do to get there. And it's not just going to happen on a dime necessarily. It could, but probably not. And when you listen to all the other silly FOMO, silly FUD, the U.S. government's selling all their Bitcoin. The U.S. government is not selling all their Bitcoin. They haven't even said they're going to sell any. And the amount in question, 69 point however many thousands, not quite 420, but that'd be the meme of it if it were. But it's like 69,237 or 320 or whatever the numbers. 69,000 and change Bitcoin. All that is again just a judge who said they have the right to sell it, but the government didn't say they wanted to sell it. And again, it's less than 0.5% of all the Bitcoin. So yes, if they sold it, great, as long as it went into the hands of retail traders. But it wouldn't, right? Who's been buying off all the excess Bitcoin that's been bought over the past, since January? Who's been buying it up like crazy since January? All the big firms, all the giant whales, all the financial institutions and a bunch of governments. And if you realize that the U.S. government, wants to own more Bitcoin, not less, and they've been hoarding the Bitcoin that they've been taking from various raids. Yeah, they had that auction where Tim Draper bought a bunch of them, like 40,000 Bitcoin or whatever it was, 30,000, 40,000 Bitcoin back in the day. Great, he got a nice deal. But they haven't really done too many big auctions since then, have they? So there's actually no indication that they're going to just do that again, is there? Because again, what is $42 billion to the U.S. government in the big scheme of things? Yeah, it's a lot of money. Sure, you can pay for a lot of things. You can fix a lot of damage and hurricane damage, or you could fund government programs, or you could do whatever government wants to do, right? But what's $42 billion in a multi-trillion-dollar economy? It's not going to change anything day to day. It's not actually going to change something immediately in the quality of life of most Americans. If the government suddenly has $42 billion more cash on hand, that money would go right into debt relief or debt spending, right? Or on the other hand, they could just hold it because this Bitcoin thing might be worth something someday. I think there are some really stupid bureaucrats, and then there are some also not really stupid bureaucrats. Just like in any large organization, you got a bell curve of distribution of people who are smart and people who are not so smart. And that's what we're seeing happening, right? Is the people in the government who are aware of what it could mean to hold hundreds of thousands of coins, which they already do, right? The U.S. government is the largest government holder of any government on earth, right? Technically, and again, yes, you can, if you add up all the Chinese companies that are technically kind of owned by China, then you could say China actually owns more than the U.S. government. True. But those companies are companies. Arguably, they're a little bit different than the government. A little bit. So technically, the U.S. is still the government that holds the most in a government name, as opposed to China, which holds about a third or a half of what the U.S. holds directly as the government of China, which is still a significant amount. To have hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin in a market where there's only 21 million is a lot. And obviously, if they have that many Bitcoin, there's if you look at Ethereum or other things, you can bet that they also own a bunch of that too, and other cryptos as well. Certainly the leading ones anyway, or the ones that they think have any potentially bright future. So all that is to say, right, that silly news about Adam Back saying Bitcoin has to do this or Bitcoin has to do that, for his needs. It's like, who cares? What do you mean for your need? Why is that news? I got nothing against the guy at all. In fact, I think he's great in many ways. But to say that what he has to say about trading is somehow newsworthy, I mean, guys, if you've been and girls, if you've been watching my videos and you know about the VEPs, you should know that is just misleading information. It's published to get people wrecked. It's published to give people a false sense of hope one way or the other, and a false sense of fear one way or the other. Both at the same time, all four at the same time. Why? Why would they do that? Well, because that's how the market gets liquidity. That's how the market is sustained, by suckering the average retail trader into making the wrong decision with bad information, which is presented well, so it appears to be good information, but it isn't, because it's completely irrelevant, right? It has nothing to do with what's actually happening with the low time frame. probabilities and statistics of the volatility and the entropy. So that's really, reasons number 1 and 35,000 and million for why you just should not listen to those kind of talking heads when it comes to low time frame trades. They again, nothing against Adam Back for tweeting whatever he wants to tweet. He's free to tweet whatever he wants to tweet. Why not? Who might even say anything about it? Right? But the fact that anybody picks it up and presents it as some kind of financial news when it just isn't is very telling, right? And the fact that story even gets any kind of attention really is almost more telling than the story itself, because it tells you how desperate people are to find some shred of information they can cling on to and hope for dear life that it's going to yield what they want. And the answer is that's never going to work. Right? The only thing that's going to work consistently and reliably is using the same leading information that's used by the companies that run the markets. That's it. There's no secret to it. Now, it's secretive in the sense that they don't go around telling people about it. And alpha trading, we do. But apart from that, the information is out there. We publish it. We make our videos visible to the public. We make our charts available to the public. And we give away free indicators and a free chart. Anybody can see for themselves. You can see our advanced charts on our live streams, or you can subscribe to them if you've learned how to use the basics. So it's quite clear. Don't get fooled. Okay, folks, that's it. Happy trading. See ya.